What's good, YouTube? Welcome back to MANIACITV, man. Today, we got when rappers go too far from hip-hop madness. Now listen, man, I'm already kind of envisioning what the video is gonna be about just from the thumbnail of it too, man. But you know, rappers do a lot of crazy things. You know, you get a little bit of bread and you start doing whatever, man. But we gonna see what this all about. Let's get it.
We was gonna put it in a ring, but I'm gonna be honest, I'm Lil Uzi, I'm turned up, so I had a piercing right here a while ago. I said, you know what? I want to put it right here, bro. They argued me down. It's almost insane to the average person. You know, I'm Lil Uzi Vert. What can I say?
In hip-hop, the temptation to do the audacious and overstretch yourself is easy to understand.
Uzi with that honestly, and especially when they said it was a $20 million thing, I'm like, Uzi got 20 million on his head, literally. Like, bro, at the rate that a lot of stuff is happening with rappers, the last thing I'd be doing if I was a rapper is putting a $20 million diamond right in the middle of my head.
After all, the genre is more crowded than ever, and in order to get a piece of that coveted real estate, it's been proven that sometimes it takes more than lyrical acumen or a couple of serviceable songs to break out. But where someone of the caliber of Eminem has his mentor in Dr. Dre to tell him when he's going too far on Kamikaze and compelled him to tone it down, it's safe to say that when ambition takes the lead over common sense, little can stop you from making an error that a veteran may be able to avoid. With that said, it's time to delve into those moments in which rappers, in pursuit of fame, clout, street cred, or some combination of the three, have gone too far. Over the years, many of the industry's biggest stars have fallen afoul to flexing. While it probably seems like an ingenious idea at the time, T-Pain has infamously referred to his literal big-ass chain from the autotune era as the dumbest purchase he'd ever made. Meanwhile, Soulja Boy's diamond-encrusted remote control Lamborghini hasn't been around for years at this point, and it's likely that if he could, he'd take it back.
I ain't gonna lie, man, listen. I remember TPains Chain, bro. But this was, y'all gotta remember, this was at a time when T-Pain, you know how everybody say young boy is right now? That's what T-Pain was back in 07. Back in 07 when I was in middle school. Like, T-Pain was that dude, man. But, you know, yeah, that's wild. Soulja Boy did some wild things.
Control Lamborghini hasn't been around for years at this point.
That's crazy.
And it's likely that if he could, he'd take it back. And when Future decided to buy his 5-year-old son a Rolex for his birthday, the internet relentlessly clowned him. But while you can simply remove a pendant from around your neck or a watch from your wrist, some rappers have gone a step further and done things which have permanent implications. In one act of monetary irresponsibility that left the whole internet scratching their heads, Mexican reggaeton artist Dan Sur, whom you likely know better from social media than any songs of his, underwent surgery to get gold chains literally implanted in his scalp. The truth is that I wanted to do something different because I see everyone dyes their hair.
Huh? Yo, like, what line did you sniff that made you think this was a good idea to put a Cuban chain, a number of Cuban chains in your hair? Like, man, listen, the things that people would do for clout. And I get it. You know, we all don't want to be working regular jobs. We want to be making a lot of money. We want to be, but dog, like, getting implants of chains in your hair, like, you know how ridiculous that sound? They better be real, or it's your whole head turning green. Your whole head gonna turn green if they ain't real. Like, bruh, like, ain't that like brain damage? Like, how does
you know better from social media than any songs of his, underwent surgery to get gold chains literally implanted in his scalp. The truth is that,
bro, you the easiest lick of all time, bro. Like, dog, you go in the trenches, somebody could just snatch one of them things out of your head.
I wanted to do something different because I see everyone dyes their hair, he said when explaining his decision to the New York Post. I hope not everyone copies me now. I have it as a hook that is implanted in my head, and that hook has hooks, and they're all hooked in my skull, under my skin, Sur said in another viral clip. This is my hair, golden hair, the first rapper to have gold hair implanted in human history. The very epitome of the mindset that compels rappers to go too far, Sur knew that he needed a unique selling point, and found it in his highly impractical hairstyle. And while fans may like to gawk at him on TikTok to the tune of 4.3 million followers, he's yet to broach the billboards or even break out with a viral hit. Sur's behavior was a simple instance of an aspiring artist who was dying for publicity by any means. It should be noted that it isn't just the lower tier rappers who will flex to this degree, as back in 2021, it was revealed that Lil Uzi Vert,
I can't fathom
the lower tier rappers who will flex to this degree.
Like, you did all this just to break through in the music industry, and you mean to tell me you ain't got not one song on the charts? Like, I I don't get it. Like clout is a hell of a thing, man.
As back in 2021, it was revealed that Lil Uzi Vert got a $24 million diamond implanted in his forehead. Speaking about why he did this, Uzi made it clear that he did it simply because he could get away with it in ways that others couldn't.
You know, there's been a lot of different talk and a lot of different opinions and stuff on it. Let's just say if I would have saw this diamond in there and it wasn't $24 million, I still would have got it. I can't help that a natural diamond costs that much. So I'm picking up the diamond. We was going to put it in a ring. But I'm going to be honest, I'm a little Uzi. I'm turned up. So I had a piercing right here a while ago. I said, you know what? I want to put it right here. Bro, they argued me down. It's almost insane to the average person. You know, I'm Lil Uzi Vert. What can I say?
As absurd as any body modification that a rapper ever had, bar dancers, Lil Uzi revealed that this degree of flashiness wasn't necessarily harmless. In fact, it came with inherent danger attached to it. If I don't get it took out the right way, I could die, he captioned as a selfie that featured blood dripping from the diamond. No, seriously. Let's hold it there for a second to talk about our friends over at...
This is, the thing is though, like yeah, he could, if taken out wrong, that mug rips, like your whole face gone. But it's like, dog, like Uzi came in an era too, like the clout era. You know, I say the clout era definitely became popularized in 2016. That's when everybody with the rainbow hair and pink hair, purple hair, everybody was like, you know, colorful as hell. That was a colorful ass era. But man, like that 24, you know, people don't even make 24 million. It take generations on generations. Some family trees ain't never even touched 24 million after hundreds of years. And he just got it right there.
Blood dripping from the diamond. And code HIPHOP at checkout to get 3 plastic-free deodorants for the price of 2. And if that isn't enough, Native have also been kind enough to give 20% off any body wash or toothpaste. Once again, using code HIPHOP at checkout through the link in my description. With that said, let's get back to the video.
And remember to wash your ass before you put deodorant on. Wash your ass before you put deodorant on. Deodorant don't mask all smells.
Willing to risk life and limb just to flex, Uzi's decision to get the forehead diamond is undeniably a case of an artist going too far. However, at least he had enough of a diehard fan base that he couldn't really be clowned for it. And although he's since removed the diamond, it has become a crucial part of the iconography around Uzi. And in an industry that thrives on larger-than-life personas, having a near cartoonish image may only help to make you more iconic. Veering away from the financial theatric to something more ominous, another method of taking things to a new, darker terrain is the phenomenon of dissing dead ops. Rather than adding to your legacy like Uzi's flashy display of personality, engaging in this trend is more likely to end your run in the game prematurely. In some ways, the precedent was arguably set by 50 Cent way back in 2002 on Get Rich or Die Trying's Many Men Wish Death, in which he spoke of Daryl Homo Bomb, rapping that in the Bible it says what goes around comes around. Homo shot me, 3 weeks later he got shot down, declaring that he got hit like I got hit, but he ain't breathing. These callous, vengeful words wouldn't catch on at the time, but would inadvertently lay the groundwork for what was to come. 13 years on, Chief Keef's Off the Tuka, which referenced a 15-year-old member of the Gangster Disciples, not only started a worldwide phenomenon, but waved the starting flag on a whole new level of disrespect. Particularly prevalent within the Chicago hip-hop scene that Keef helped create, it's now reached the point where fans are practically desensitized to hear drill MCs diss their dead ops.
But this the thing, though, and I kind of talked about it on the Hustle and Motivate podcast. If you ain't subscribed, link down below in the description, man. With Hollywood Down and Ace from Odd 95, we kind of talked about it yesterday. Episode actually dropping today. Probably it's already out by the time y'all see this. But, you know, we was talking about them like, you know, Fulio and Spinner Bins. Like, they, you know, when it comes down to Florida, they're notorious with dissing their dead ops. But it's like Spin put out a whole project, right? He put out a whole project. Some pretty quality songs, you know. I checked out a couple of them, but it's like they're not getting the traction as they would as compared to an I Don't Smoke Kendra or a Who I Smoke. Like they're not gonna get the attention like those songs because you know how they came in is how they eventually are gonna be perceived. So I don't know, man. I feel like the dissing the dead trend is beneficial when you constantly do it, but then again it's gonna become repetitive after a while. And then when you try to branch out to do something else, you kind of like hurting yourself because ain't nobody there to listen to no pain and lyrical shit. They want to hear you disrespect somebody that's 6 feet under right now. That's what they want to hear. They don't want to hear how you need, you know, you need this and you need that. Like, nah.
A complete departure from the long-held notion that you don't speak ill of the dead, the popularization of the smoking on Tuka phrase got so bad that his mom spoke out against it.
Tuka is a whole person. It's not no strand of weed. He have a mother, he has family out here. He has people that love him dearly out here.
On other occasions, rappers who'd partaken in the practice of dissing their ops have eventually lost their life too. Shortly after his death, FBG Duck's mother, who has campaigned for peace in Chicago since her son's passing, spoke out about Lil Durk mentioning her son on record.
And remember they had a song together. Remember they had their differences. Y'all rich out mixing in my mother son. Y'all rich out mixing in Tuka. Show your crowd. Do something else besides this and music.
But while his grieving mother is well within her rights to be angered by Durk mentioning her son, it should come with the caveat that her son was by no means blameless in popularizing the trend, releasing the rampantly disrespectful Dead shortly before his death in 2020. And as the trend spread out to Florida, with tracks such as Spin the Benzes, Vanessa Carlton sampling Who I Smoke, and Fulio's List of Dead Ops, it seems as though those who set it off are now realizing it comes with major karma. After Durk's brother OTF D-Thang was shot and killed, the uncle of late King Von, Range Rover Hang, publicly pleaded with the rapper to stop mentioning the dead to stop the violence. Now, Durk has said he won't be mentioning the dead in his songs, and shortly afterwards, an appearance on a stream with YB and Almighty J saw Keith lay the Tuka line to rest once and for all.
Tuka, let me get in now.
Even say shorty name.
Away from this
And
day,
it's like, you know, like Chief Keef, man, the era that Chief Keef was in, that was a special time of drill music, because, you know, that was something different that we've never seen before. And like, yeah, they really, why am I looking at this person? But like when they like came in, you know, they really rebirthed that trend of dissing the dead. You know, this was, you know, Wayne was starting to, you know, Wayne already cemented his legacy. We were looking for that next sound of music, and that dissing, the disrespectful music. That's what drill's identity was, man. And it's like looking at it 10 years later, you know, Chief Keef all the way out. He out in LA with it. Big mansion in LA. You know, I think Chief Keef even know, like, man, like, I was wilding as a little nigga, like, bro, like, what was I saying? I'm dissing, I'm smoking who? I'm doing this? Like, you know, Chief Keef, I feel like he sees the bigger picture in things now, and that he doesn't need to do that anymore. You know what I mean? He's a lot older, he's more mature now. It took Durk a while. Don't get me wrong. You know, as fans, I think we're naturally attracted to toxicity in music, naturally. You know, but, you know, I'm glad Durk is finally starting to break out of that, you know, and really show his craft. Like, you know what I mean? But does that mean that we're at the end of this trend? No, I feel like if anything, this is just the beginning. We're going to see many more artists come into the industry on that kind of time, because they seen people that came before them do the same thing, and they caught inspiration from them. Chief Keef has inspired pretty much 95% of all these new rappers that's in the game right now, man.
Tuka, let me get in now.
Even say shorty name.
away from this dangerous practice, there are other ways in which choices made on the mic or in the creation of your public persona can, while initially seeming like a good idea, act as your undoing and leave the career that you tried so hard to build in tatters. Initially aligned with XXXTentacion and the Floridian Members Only Collective, Kid Trunks, whose career had taken a notable dip, attempted to revive his momentum by claiming that he'd suffered a series of unfortunate circumstances. In quick succession, he revealed that he'd been shot, and shortly afterwards, he claimed to have lung cancer. After he sought what could only be seen as a sympathy vote, Kid Trunks did receive a small win in the form of a Fashion Nova deal. But while this briefly boosted his profile, Trunks soon realized that he had in fact gone too far, and in a lengthy apology, he described the cocktail of circumstances that led to his deception.
I felt that my career was going down. Like, I feel like I wasn't getting as much love as I used to be. They say clout is a hell of a drug, but drug is a hell of a drug. I felt that me lying about getting shot would work on my behalf, which it didn't. And honestly, that was probably the stupidest thing I've ever done. Yes, I was clout chasing. I will admit that. I don't have lung cancer. I have a cancerous abscess growing in my chest and in the back of my brain. But I do not have lung cancer. I was just off the drugs.
I would commend him for getting on Instagram Live to do that, man. But cancer is not something to joke about. Cancer and getting shot, considering that those two are probably like the leading cause of death of so many people here in this country. People getting shot. Somebody probably getting killed right now. You know what I mean? Like, it's real. It's so real out here, man. It's so real out here, man. But to do it because you thought your career was fizzling out, so that's the route to go. Like I said, you know, he admitted his wrong, But I mean, I'm just saying, initially, that still don't make it right, man. Cancer is nothing to play about, man, at all.
I got my phone at the wrong time. I'll just be real with y'all. Like, I apologize for lying about getting shot. I apologize for lying about having lung cancer. And I also apologize for just making my friends, my family, and my fans look
And
bad.
I see somebody say X was shot. It's like this was X's partner. This was his homeboy. And it's like you lost one of your best friends to gun violence and you want to make up a lie that you got shot?
Just making my friends, my family, and my fans look bad. I just really want to apologize from the bottom of my heart.
In Kid Trunks' almost tragic case, we see all of the driving factors behind why rappers go too far converge. As with his stock depleting before his eyes, the survival instinct kicked in and he threw everything at the wall in an attempt to keep his foothold. But what he and all of the rappers who engage in these activities must learn is that ultimately, any gain achieved by these tactics will ultimately be short-term. And on the other side, a need to up the stakes awaits. On the subject of this need to continually outdo yourself and uphold the exception that audiences have for you, this is something which rappers who have opted to fraudulently appear as gang members for commercial gain know all too well. Naturally, the world of the streets is always going to bleed into the lyrics of those who lived it to some degree. However, what falls under an entirely different category of rappers going too far comes in the form of artists falsifying personas to the extent that the lines between reality and fiction blur. Ever since hip-hop began, authenticity has always been held to a premium, and over the years, there's no shortage of artists who've had their lyrics about gangbanging
Whatever happened to Slim Jesus? Like what? Like bro was popping in 2015 and then went MIA.
But where it started off innocently enough in the internet age with the likes of Slim Jesus, who didn't take long to concede that it was all an act and said that rapping about guns was just fun, there are others who have taken method acting a step further, most notably Takashi 6ix9ine. Born Daniel Hernandez, the rapper who'd become the industry's biggest troll, may have grown up in impoverished circumstances, but was never a gangster by any means. But after recruiting
I remember when I first saw Takashi 6ix9ine, it was 2017. I was like, you know, that's when he started popping. I'm like, rainbow hair, he got the tattoos all over his face. You know, he pretty much forced, I ain't gonna say forced a rap career, but he forced something that was gonna be way bigger than himself. Like he forced an identity that he know people was gonna be attracted by. That's what the clout is. Like if I do something, if I make myself look so ridiculous, on top of that, make myself a gang member, like everybody's gonna tune in. And then okay, it ended up working for him in the end because he's got millions on millions of dollars. But is there really a price that you can put over your own integrity? Like is there a price tag for that? Like you can never go back. The snitching, the gang banging, the extortion, all that stuff that went on, you can't change any of that. Yeah, you got millions of dollars, but when people think of you, your legacy is going to be this. They're going to see a literal clown figure. That's the only way to think about it. It's like, is it worth it at the end of the day?
Grown up in impoverished circumstances, but was never a gangster by any means. But after recruiting a contingent of the 9 Trey Bloods to appear in one of his videos, he would find himself adopting the persona of a hardened street sweeper and would never ever drop the act.
On my interview, I done gave my address. On my interview, I said, you see me, pop on me. If you see me, test my gangster. How long ago did I say that? Nobody is stupid enough to do that. Why nobody press me yet? They know, man. They know. I be outside all the time by myself. I be in the hood, bro, walking around with $80,000 in my pocket, just straight cash. Walking around like it's all butter.
After experiencing one of the most meteoric rises in hip-hop history, Takashi's rise to the top would be derailed when he was faced with over 30 years in jail on racketeering charges. He quickly turned informant and became hip-hop's most infamous snitch. A clear-cut example of what happens when a rapper flies too close to the sun and crosses into the world of criminality that isn't theirs. Takashi's story should have been a warning sign to everyone to simply leave that world alone. However, the lessons haven't necessarily been heeded, and not long after the fall of Takashi, a rapper from Staten Island known as CJ would cross over into this world with Whoopty. After initially claiming that he'd invented the phrase which aided his rise to fame, CJ, who wasn't a blood and whose uncle was label executive James Cruz, who has been aligned with Diddy, Bad Boy Entertainment, and Combs Enterprises for years, was called out by the Bloodhound Brim founder, LaBrim, from jail for his co-opting of the gang call.
He's not whoopty. He don't know nothing about whoopty. He just seen a fly splash and he jacked it, which is a smart move. But in life, you gotta show respect and you can't live a lie.
That's why I feel like CJ, like his shit it's not doing what it once did. Like I feel like, you know, eventually everybody, you know, you gonna have to answer to your BS. He had it easy. Pretty much some could call him an industry plant. Your uncle worked hand in hand with Diddy, one of the biggest artists of the late 90s. A legend. A legend. So you got it easy. You had it already, my boy. You ain't have to wear the bandana around your neck. You ain't gotta say that you whoopty, that you and did that, you did this, you shot people. Like, man, you came from a good upbringing. You could have just, man, get in there, be yourself. I guarantee you would have popped more that way than you are doing this shit.
They gave me 30 years for a lifestyle
that you never lived.
And that don't add up, shorty.
Quickly relieved of the street credentials he briefly managed to cobble together, his fraudulence, as well as being slapped with the tag of an industry plant, has meant that he's never been capable of capitalizing on that initial hype. Through these tales, it's clear that while the shock factor might work for a brief moment, it has diminishing and potentially dangerous returns.
Man.
So in all circumstances, it's wiser to invest in the art, not the antics. If anything approaching longevity is what you seek.
Invest in the art, not the antics. I like that, man. Y'all let me know y'all thoughts and opinions on this, man. Rappers really be forcing it, though. I ain't gonna lie, rappers do be forcing it, man. Link down below in the description for y'all to check this video out in its entirety with no interruptions. Y'all new to the channel, y'all rock with me, want daily reaction videos. Hit that subscribe button for me to the next video. I'll see y'all then. Thank you for watching MANIACITV. I'm out.